Live, where news comes first, from the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC 7's Good Morning El Paso.
Welcome into Good Morning El Paso. I'm Nick Patrick in for Mauricio Casillas. We start with breaking news from the ABC 7 Alert Center following two separate shootings this morning. One in northeast El Paso. You can see it here on Fairbanks and Rushing. The other happening in East El Paso at the Comfort Inn. That's on the 6600 block of Gateway West. We do want to start with that situation on the east side because that's where we find ABC 7's Brianna Chavez live this morning. Good morning. Brianna, thank you. And now to the latest on that other shooting that happened on the northeast side of town. Police say two people were hurt, one person now in custody. This happened at the corner of Rushing and Fairbanks. That's right here on your map. That's 375 right there. This was just outside a 7-Eleven store. We have video. There it is from the scene. When we arrived, several police officers, detectives were surveying that area. Police say one of the victims did suffer serious injuries. Now, we don't know yet what led up to that shooting. Police are still investigating, but as soon as they release anything, of course, we will let you know about it. We're going to continue to follow this story both on air and online at kvia.com. Well, friends and family of a missing Fort Bliss soldier are still trying to remind the community of their search and hope for a safe return. 21-year-old Richard Holliday was last seen on July 23rd. Over the weekend, loved ones held a rally to raise awareness of his disappearance. They released red balloons, which they say was his favorite color. The hope is that as more people hear about Holliday's disappearance, someone will eventually come forward with new information that will help Richard reunite with his family. And numerous cruise ships are now waiting for the green light from the CDC to return back to the water. The CDC has yet to announce a date for when those ships will be allowed to dock at U.S. ports. However, the industry is poised for a rebound. Carnival, of course, says passengers' reservations have nearly doubled over the past couple of weeks. Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings says that it's set to continue domestic trips for those who are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Many cruise companies are facing serious debt for money borrowed to stay afloat during the shutdown. And in international news, Germany has now reached the peak of its ICU bed occupancy. Now, that's according to the director of the German Intensive Care Association. The association added healthcare workers are, quote, breaking down. The number of new COVID-19 cases have gone up in the past few days in the country. Yesterday, Germany reported more than 17,000 new infections and 104 deaths. And the St. Patrick Cathedral statue that was vandalized back in September has now been completely restored, and it's back at home.
We have special reasons to celebrate God's mercy because, as you may have noticed, there is something in the place where the beloved statue of the Sacred Heart used to stand.
Here's the moment that Bishop Mark cites. He unveiled that new restored Sacred Heart statue. There it is, the sculpture of Jesus. It was valued at $25,000. Remember, it was toppled over in the fall. A 30-year-old man was arrested in connection with that crime.
We're very grateful that on this Divine Mercy Sunday, we have this reminder in our cathedral, the Sacred Heart of Jesus always telling us, my mercy is with you. My mercy and love are with you.
Now, that statue is actually 90 years old. The diocese says donors contributed more than $38,000 to actually repair and ship that statue. The diocese says that money will also go to upgraded security. A 10-year-old migrant boy who was seen in that heartbreaking video, we showed it to you last week. This happened along the border, reportedly kidnapped and held for ransom. Nicaraguan authorities identified that boy as Wilton Gutierrez Obregon. The boy's uncle says that he crossed into the U.S. last month with his mother and two cousins, but the boy and his mother were expelled back to Mexico, where the uncle says they were kidnapped. The uncle was able to pay the ransom, but only had enough for Wilton to be released. The uncle says Wilton was then abandoned by the smugglers after leading him to cross the border. Again, now seeing a new surge of COVID-19 cases. State leaders are asking for an increase of vaccines, but the White House is staying the course. They're sticking with their original vaccine distribution plan. The Michigan governor is now urging high schools to go remote, youth sports to pause, and people to skip indoor dining for at least the next 2 weeks. A White House official says President Joe Biden told the governor that the administration will send an additional 160 government personnel to help with the vaccinations, but there is no promise yet of more vaccines. And the prosecution is expected to rest its case this week in the trial of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. This means the defense will begin making its case. Week 2 of the trial wrapped up with the medical examiner taking the stand, ruling that George Floyd's death was a homicide. Chauvin's attorney argues that Floyd's death was caused by drug use and underlying health conditions, including a bad heart. He's now expected to call his own medical experts to the stand. Fun fact about this, I think with Matsuyama there, there's a bunch of Japanese media that are always following him around the course. He said he felt that without them there, he was more calm. There you go.
Less pressure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They were all still watching, though.
Exactly. He wasn't thinking about that.